Welcome to our 50th episode. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Welcome to the Sea and Land Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Sahno. This podcast is brought to you by Sea and Land Fitness. Head on over there for all of your military endurance fitness needs. You can find it at www.sandlfit. That's www.sandlfit.com. All right. This is my third take of trying to do this episode because I don't know. Did I get enough sleep last night? I don't know. I'm going to have some coffee. Peter Madeira, this is for you. Oh, my right hand's shaking a little bit, but that's fine. Not a problem. So this is our 50th episode, 50. This is a benchmark episode. Is that the term, I guess? This is, plant a flag in this and call it our own. We've hit 50, which is ironic because my birthday is a week from today. I'm filming this on Tuesday, the 27th. So we got a lot to cover today. We got a lot to be thankful for today. So I am thankful to the 7 people that continuously watch this podcast. It's going to grow. I'm convinced, or at least that's what I keep telling my wife. So what do we got to cover today? We have to cover some huge stuff. Remember I said this episode is a benchmark. Well, it's ironic that it's hitting 50 right when all of the things that are going on with Sea and Land Fitness are going on. So I have been in the process for the past week of designing a newsletter that we call the HoneyBadger Bulletin. It is, and I'm going to put it up on the screen. If you're watching YouTube, you'll be able to see it. And the HoneyBadger Bulletin is going to be this quick 3-page bulletin that covers some very specific topics in sports science, but it does it in a way that is really grabbable, really receptive to people who might not have a science background, to people who might not have a science background or a heavy exercise science background. So one of the things we're doing is so the newsletter is going to go out every month, and it's called the HoneyBadger Bulletin. And I'm going to have another sip of coffee real quick. Hold on. I've been running around all day. I was over at West Point for most of the morning and afternoon, and so I'm coming back from doing all that stuff. So if I seem a little trying to catch my thoughts, trying to gather my thoughts together, that's why, because I've been moving at like Sonic, running around that place and trying to get back over to this side of the river. So what are we talking about? We're talking about the HoneyBadger Bulletin and make it accessible. We're trying to make it accessible. We're trying to build a bridge with the HoneyBadger Bulletin, our newsletter. We're trying to build a bridge between the academic world, which is way up here in terms of not status, but in terms of I'm going to use the word nomenclature and everyone's going to go, what? Lingo, in terms of lingo. So there are a lot of words that scientists use. I'm guilty of it all the time. My wife actually hits me on it all the time. I don't understand what you're saying. You're using big science language. And I think just about every scientist is guilty of this. So what I've decided to do is take all of this information that's up here that's inaccessible, not because you can't get it, not because you can't pull it up online, but because it's written in such dense language, dense academic lingo. Okay. And what I've done is I've brought it down to here. Okay. And bringing it down to here doesn't mean you're lesser, doesn't mean you're not smart. You're absolutely smart. But you don't have a background in all this, for lack of a better term, gobbledygook that we use as scientists, which is kind of idiot speak sometimes when you think about it. But what I'm doing is I'm taking all of these big concepts, ideas, academic ideas, and I'm taking the rind off, peeling the banana back to get to the meat. So that was the weirdest way to describe it, but whatever. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to take all this garbage, because to someone who doesn't understand it, it literally is just garbage. It's wasted words that aren't going to be used, aren't going to be processed by the brain, by your brain. And I'm stripping all that away, and I'm kind of soldier proofing it, sailor proofing it, not marine proofing it, because I'm not writing it in crayon. Yes, I just said that. But I'm kind of boiling it down to its most essential parts, and I'm giving it to you that way. Like, one of the things that's going to be in there is right at the very beginning, I pull up 3 terms, 3 words, okay, that may be in common use in sports, exercise, and science, in exercise social media, okay? On Instagram, you may have come across these words, and one of those words is core. Everyone talks about their core. Like, I was just literally, like I told you, I was at West Point. I was talking to an MP, wonderful woman, brilliant woman, hardworking woman, but not but. There's no but. So I was telling her, or asking her, give me your definition. You've seen it in exercise stuff. Give me your definition of core. What is your core? And she went like this. She went down near her stomach. And I said, your abs, right? Is that what you're thinking? She said, yeah. She didn't want to know, or she didn't want to say, because she was a little bit nervous about getting it wrong. Which it speaks volumes, but I'll talk about why that's important in a second. So, core. My head itches. Sorry. So, so I said, actually, your core is the muscles in your torso that hold up your spine into its erect position, into its proper position. And she was like, oh, wow. And your abs are part of that, but they're just a part of that. There's so much more to it. All of your back muscles, all of your hip muscles, your obliques, all of that's your core. And I said, think about this now that you understand that this is what the core is. Okay, think about it when you're doing a push-up. Think about it when you reach down to pick something up. She's an MP. She's in the Army. So I said, think about it when you're holding your pistol. Think about it when you're holding your rifle. Think about how a core gives you a stronger base Think about it when you're having to deal with a suspect. She's an MP, military police. When you're dealing with a suspect who doesn't want to be arrested, a strong core would be instrumental in you being able to effectively do your job. And she was like, oh, yeah, holy cow. So that's one person that I can interact with and talk to and give information to. But with the newsletter, this opens up that information to everyone who comes across it. And that's why this newsletter is so important. So that was something from Exercise Physiology. Okay. We are also going to have one word. So that's one word from Exercise Physiology, one term that we're going to define. We're going to have one term from Performance Psychology. And we're going to have another term from Sports Nutrition. So there are so many things that I can teach you guys about that I am not teaching you about. And what's nice about doing the newsletter is the newsletter will give me a lot of direction for this podcast to bring you guys information. And it's just going to be such a great vehicle for getting really solid, good info to the people who need it. So that's the first part. So on the first page, there's going to be some definitions. Then you'll go down to the second page of the newsletter, and I will go over an exercise. For this one, it is the push-up. And there's a goofy picture of my ass doing a push-up in the up and the down position. And there's also a little something else. So you got to see the newsletter to see that photo. Nothing bad, just something goofy, and I think you'll laugh. My son is very proud of it. So, because he took the photos. So there's going to be me clearly outlining an exercise from our program. So one of the exercises from our program, our four programs actually, will be outlined in detail, with an example, with a visual example of the exercise being done. So that's really fun. So we got the definitions, we have an exercise, and then after that, I'm going to write a couple of paragraphs. Hold on, another sip. So I have, I'm going to talk about that in a second, the shaking in my hand. So after the exercise, I'm going to, but I'm going to ask other people if they'd like to. It'd be nice to have some guests. I'm going to, I've already written it. I've written a small, probably about 500 word little mini article, maybe 250 to 500 word mini article about something that has to do with one of those three terms that I give you, the definitions. And it'll be a fun, quick read, just a quick dose of info, exercise science info, written in a way that you can walk away and say, and this is what my hope is, that you read this article and you go, you know what? I should really send this to my husband. I should really send this to my wife. My mom would really love this. I should send this to my dad. And that's the purpose, is to get this message out to all different groups. Not just, I mean, I operate in the military endurance arena. Okay. But health should hit everywhere. And this newsletter could be the catalyst to someone doing something more positive, more healthy in their lives. So yeah, so there's that. And then I do, since, like I said, it's military endurance, we're going to do a profile of someone in the services. Right now, I'm trying to, well, no, I am talking to a former cadet at West Point who has graduated, and I'm trying to do a quick little mini profile on him. And I think it's really going to be fun. I think it's really going to be interesting. People are going to see people in the military endurance fitness world, um, and hear what they do for nutrition. They're going to hear what they do for rest. They're going to hear what they do when they come upon an obstacle in their lives and they have to push through it. What's their mechanisms? What tools, what psychological tools do they use? What physical tools do they use? Some people, when I'm down, I just go outside and work out, and all of a sudden I'm motivated again. You know what I mean? It could be as simple as that. But I want you guys to hear from that broad population, that broad base of people, so that, if you're looking for some motivation, you can get it. And then at the end, there's this one section called paying the bills, and it's ads. It's a couple of ads from people who have helped support Sea and Land Fitness. And I'm in the process of getting those right now. And my son, actually, I wrote it as like a placeholder, paying the bills, ads, but my son said, "Wow, I really like that." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He said, "It's just honest. You're telling people that you're getting something for this." And I was like, "Oh yeah, you're right." And that is, I want to give you guys the straight dope. So that's where that's coming from. So that is what's going on. One of the things that's going on. Hold on. Quick sip. So that's one of the things that's going on. So the other thing that's going on, and I know I've been telling you guys, I swear I'm doing this. We are working on the members site. I have been working out like a dog to try to get my body looking like, and this is actually, I kind of want to talk about this for a sec. This is, and I think I have touched on it before, but trying to get myself so that when I look in the mirror, I can go, yeah, that's a guy that I want to train me to get into the military. And a couple weeks ago, I didn't feel like that. I'm starting to feel like that again. I'm starting to feel more comfortable. One of the funny things about my body is I have this ridiculous mutation where I can just put on muscle. If I pick up a weight, it's like something out of, Bugs Bunny. Dun, 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 dun. Like the muscles just start popping out. So I am lucky in that sense. And I'm going to be on track for, I think we're going to start on the 15th of September is we're going to start filming. So that's about a little over 2 weeks away. And yes, so that's the other thing that's coming. The other thing that's coming is, so we have the newsletter, then we also have the membership site. The membership section of the site where you'll be able to go in and remember in the newsletter, I talked about the exercise. Well, you're going to get breakdowns of all the exercises for our program, at different levels, different tiers, depending on what you want to do in the military. So that is coming, and it's coming very soon. As a matter of fact, as soon as I get done making this podcast, I either have to go outside and work out. It's arm day. Every day's arm day. And I also have to edit this to get it up, put the credits in and stuff. But my point is, as soon as I get done making this podcast, I got to go outside and, work out. because I am pushing myself. I'm motivated. I got a goal and I'm pushing towards it to bring this stuff to you, you know. And an example of that is me coming, like I said before, I was at West Point all day, hadn't really eaten, ate something, threw the studio together, and then got this podcast out to you. So you guys are important to me. This is important to me. Being successful at this is very important to me. So I want you guys to know that I'm doing everything I can to get you guys the best stuff so you can continue, so you can start, and if you've already started, continue your military endurance fitness journey. So all right, so there's that. Then on top of that, so there's the newsletter, right? The newsletter. Then there's the membership area. That's coming up on the 15th. We're going to start shooting those videos. Another thing, I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys. I became a Sahno dealer, Sahno watches. So I'm wearing a Garmin watch right now because I'm also a Garmin dealer. And I love Garmin. Don't get me wrong. Garmin's great. They make some really great products. The only problem is they're very, 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 very expensive. They're extremely expensive. Like I almost wonder if the people at Garmin have ever looked at a military pay scale, and if they had, they would not market some of the watches in the way that they do. But Sahno has been very good about keeping their prices very reasonable through a couple of choices that they made in manufacturing. And the watch that I'm going to be carrying, which is available on the site now, and they're coming. I'm just waiting for them to literally arrive so that I can put them technically in stock. But you can buy them now if you want to. But whereas this watch that I'm wearing right now, I think was $399, $300, $400, $399, $400. The Sahno Core, which is an amazing watch that does everything that I want people who are using our programs to do, is only $200. It's $199. So what? So I'm kind of hesitant to say this, but as good as the Garmins are, they do too much. I find that for the stuff that I do, 9 times out of 10, I'm using the stopwatch and that's it. You know what I mean? I'm measuring my rest times. That's about it. I get some heart rate stuff, but heart rate's not really that important. Not for what I'm doing. Even when I'm rucking, heart rate's not that important. I'm more concerned about distance over time, which the stopwatch and the general clock does. The Sahno has a compass, which the Garmin has, and the Sahno has an altimeter, and I haven't been able to find the altimeter. I think it's on the Garmin, but I don't know where it is. And that's the other thing. Garmin is like a Rubik's Cube sometimes, and it's very confusing, even for me, to go through. And I consider myself kind of tech savvy, but this is on another level, where a Sahno is, this is where this is, this is where this is, this is where that is. So, yeah, basically, it's a lot more user friendly. All right, so I'm a Sahno dealer. What did I cover? I covered the newsletter. I covered the whatchamacallits are coming. The membership programs are coming, and I covered part of the store. The other part of the store, we have a brand new PVC patch. All right. We got a lot of new products coming in, a ton of new products. Sweatshirts, all kinds of stuff. We have so much stuff coming down the pipeline, and revenue that's made in one place is just going to get dumped back in to buy more product, to get you guys wearing HoneyBadger stuff, to get you guys wearing Sea and Land Fitness sweatshirts, t-shirts, hats, the stickers. We got all kinds of stuff. So there is a lot going on. This 50th episode is the stepping off point for so many great things that are coming down the pipeline. So just stay tuned. All right. That is all I've got for you this week. Not really giving you guys any, physiology or sports psych or nutrition stuff this week. Because I just had to sit down. It's one of those kind of things. Oh, I can't wait to tell you guys. That's exactly what this episode is. I can't wait to tell you guys. And I know it seemed like a jumble, and that's because there is so much going on. Plus, there's a ton of stuff that I haven't even mentioned that's kind of got to be on the DL. So, yeah, there you go. That's all I got for you guys this week, man. Again, you heard what I said about all the stuff that we've got. Head on over to the website, www.sandlfit.com, sandlfit.com. Check it all out. Pick something up. And, yeah, later, Honey Badgers. Out.